Hey, this is Leif Gamford. I played the cash register thief in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek Podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast. I'm your host Ruari, and joining me are co-hosts Graham.
Hello.
And Máirín.
How's it going?
Very well. Glad to have you on for the first time.
That sounded so wrong.
I'm glad to be here.
5 p.m. and I still can't think. So anyway, we also have a very special guest joining us today. We have actor Pekka Worley, who is best known for playing Noah in the Walking Dead TV series. So how are you, Pekka?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very well, thanks. So So
Thank you for having me on the show.
great to have you on. So we'll get right into the questions if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first question is, how did you first decide you wanted to be an actor?
I think it was about maybe 6 years ago. I was about 10, and I was in this place called Valdosta, which is in southern Georgia. And that's where my grandparents live. And I was kind of bored I was going to be down there for a while. So they wanted to sign me up for a camp, and I could pick any camp I wanted in this certain area. So I just picked the acting camp because I thought it kind of looked cool. I always liked the plays at my school that people put on. So I did a play there, and I loved it. And then every year I'd go back and do it. And then eventually I started doing the school plays, and then it escalated to other plays outside of school. And then I got into an acting studio class, which was more focused on film and TV. And I just finished my 4th year in that class. And since then, I've been very focused on film and TV acting.
Yeah, it's really cool. Thanks for answering that. My second question is, did you have to audition for the role of Noah in The Walking Dead?
I did. I was called by my agent, and she sent over some sides for a different character. It was his name was like Ned. It was basically Noah, but they changed the names for some reason. And we did a video audition where I send in a video of me like doing the scene with another person on the other side of the camera, and they'll send it to the casting directors, and then they'll tell the Walking Dead people. And they basically decided to book me off of tape, so I didn't have to go to a callback or anything. I just sent that in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Very interesting. And my favorite question is, what was it like getting to work with the cast and the crew of The Walking Dead?
Oh my, it was awesome. Pretty much all the people there were really nice, just cool people. I got to meet some of the people you would know, Andrea, the governor. There's Martinez and Bowman are the two guys that the governor has with him. I got to meet all those guys, and they're really cool, nice guys. And Greg Nicotero, the director of that episode, and a few others as well. It was a really fun experience.
Yeah, it's really cool. My fourth question is, what did they tell you about Noah's character before you shot your scenes?
They didn't tell me too much. It was more of me deciding on what the character is. I just had to know that he's kind of shy, but he also wants to step up and be a man. That's why he wants to be in that little army with the governor. But his guardian lady, Karen, doesn't want him to be. So they really didn't tell me too much, mainly because my character wasn't that, big of a character. It was just in an episode. But I got to kind of delve into that character and make it my own.
Yeah, it's really cool. My last question is, do you have any upcoming acting or roles or other projects that you would like to talk about?
Nothing in yet. I've done a lot of auditions since booking The Walking Dead, but only a few callbacks, but no actual bookings yet. We're still looking around, but The Walking Dead was easily, the biggest thing that I could have gotten. So we're not expecting another huge show, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So thank you very much, Pekka, for answering my questions, and I'll hand you over to Graham now.
You're all mine. Question 1. Did you read or watch any of The Walking Dead before you got the role?
I never read any of the comic books, but I did watch the first season of The Walking Dead, and I started to get off track because of school for the second season. But before the third season started up, I got the call from my agent that I was gonna audition, and then I found out I booked the role 2 days later, and then as soon as I figured out that I booked the role, I was like, okay, well, I should definitely go watch the second season. So I went on Netflix and watched all of them before the third season actually came on.
Nice. I remember when I first found out about the show, because I was a reader of the comic books first, so I just vegetated in my room for an entire weekend, just watching them all in one go.
It's a great show. It's one of our favorite shows.
Oh, man. Yeah, I personally think it's amazing. Anyway, I'm getting off track already. Question 2. What particular method, if any, did you use to get into character when you were saying that you kind of just made him your own, but did you take any specific method to actually get into character?
I gotta go back and remember what I did. Well, the acting school I go to, they teach a bunch of different, ways to get into character, such as a thing called journaling, where you write about what your character experienced, what you think they went through, a few days prior or that day, and a few other things. But I think I mainly just took some time after I got the script and just pictured because the line was it was that BB gun line. It was no, but I had a BB gun once, my mom took it away. And I basically, with that line, I was given the fact that, my mom took it away, so I recreated in my mind what the scenario was when she took that away. Maybe I was shooting at things and I hit my little sister or some girl in the town, and she got mad and took it away. So basically, you just have to think of, back into the past, what did my character do? And that'll help you get into character for the scene you're in.
So it's sort of like you're making your own little origin story or backstory.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Do you have a favorite episode after watching them?
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of people would say the same. It was episode 4, season 3, when I don't want to spoil it for any of your watchers.
Oh, we'll put on spoiler alert. It's fine. Spoiler alert.
Oh, you do? Okay. Spoiler alert for when season 3, episode 4, when T-Dog and Lori, exactly. When T-Dog and Lori died in the same episode.
Oh yeah, that one was I got the tear. I got teary. I mean,
at the very end, Mike had me crying. If I remember right, that was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you see, Ruari knows, but I don't particularly like the character Lori. The actress Sarah Wayne Khalid, I think, was her name. She did the role very well, but you see, I didn't really care for the character that much. But what really kind of made it emotional was like how Carl reacted with what he had to do. So I think that's what kind of made the episode really popular, because like it left an impact with everyone in the group, and then therefore the audience kind of gets the impact then too.
Right. I think Rick's reaction to finding out was what really hit me. Like when Carl like wouldn't say anything and he just fell onto the ground, it was just, oh my God.
Yeah, and like what I found really sad about that episode specifically was like how Rick and Lori were practically arguing, so they didn't really have like friendly last words to each other. They they were arguing practically, so that kind of made it super sad.
Yeah.
And my final question, and this is just the fun question: what is your zombie plan?
My zombie plan?
What is your zombie plan?
What's a zombie plan? I can answer that.
What, if hypothetically speaking, if the zombie apocalypse were to happen, what would you do?
Ooh. Oh, that's good. Well, I think my house would be a safe place to stay, but I'd have to like fortify it. And there's a place called Adventure Outdoor with pretty close to my house, which is like just an outdoor like supermarket basically. It's huge, and they have a bunch of like rifles and pistols and weapons for hunting. So apocalypse breaks loose. That's first place I'm going. You got to stack up on weapons.
I'm going to Walmart.
You got to go there and Home Depot. Get the Home Depot supplies to fortify everything. And you got to get the weapons. And then I guess you might want to go to Publix, get some food. But those 3, and then stay in the house for the rest of the apocalypse, I think is what you got to do.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I had to ask that one. Guess I'm passing you over to Máirín now.
All right.
If she's still alive.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah, you're alive.
My question is, what advice would you give for any aspiring actors?
Oh, okay. This hits pretty home to me. You have to keep going, because you're going to do a lot of auditions. If you have an agent or a manager or both, you're going to get a lot of auditions at some point in time, and there's a very low chance that you'll get the booking. And that's not like an insult, that's just what's going to happen. And the first thing I booked when I booked The Walking Dead, it was about a year time span. So there was like a year where there was nothing. And in that year, I did about 75 separate auditions. And all of those, I didn't get one of them, except the only one I got was The Walking Dead, given that was a huge show to get. But still, you're going to be doing a lot of auditions, and apparently that's lucky. Like the average is 1 out of 100 auditions you'll do. But honestly, all you got to do is think of it as a numbers game. Think of it, okay, I just did this audition. That means I'm one step closer to the booking. And that little piece of advice right there, that it's a numbers game, is what really helped me. So I think if you think about it like that, it'll help you get through the constant rejection.
Yeah, I always hear that the rejection's the worst part of being an actor. It's probably the part that scares me the most. But
yeah, you gotta have some tough skin if you're gonna get into that business.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruari, I guess it's your turn to read from the Facebook page.
Yeah, so one of our followers has a few Facebook questions for you, Pekka. Johnny begs. His first question is, what was it like being part of a TV series as big as The Walking Dead?
Oh my God. It was, I'm very honored and blessed to be part of something as big as The Walking Dead. I think we checked the other day, like The Walking Dead is the biggest cable TV show right now. And to be even in just one episode, like 5 minutes tops of something like that is incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And his second question is, what was your best memory from the set?
The best memory. There were some good ones. There was the fact that I had kind of like my own trailer kind of thing. Like I didn't know, and my mom and I walked up, and they had like a string of it was more of half a trailer. They had like 2 trailers, and they would split them in half, and it had like my name on it and stuff, and it was so cool to like walk in and find out that I had my own like mini trailer. And just my mom and I looked at each other. We were like, "Oh my God, this is actually happening. Like this is real." I think that was like a really, really good moment in the whole set.
Yeah, definitely. That must have been really cool.
Why not on the door? Score.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Johnny's final question for you is, what do you think happened to Noah?
I don't know. You can't say. Maybe you can. Maybe we'll find out in season 4. Maybe we won't. It's you just gotta watch to see.
Prison.
Hey, I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us today, Pekka. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll talk to you some other time.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See ya.
Or you can stay. I mean, we're cool. We're awesome.
Hey, I'm here all day if you need me.
Graham, it just had to be you.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Well,
There's
anyway,
so much time that you can repress excitement and fanness.
He's fanboying.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm fanboying.
but yeah, as I was saying before, Graham said fanboy, now we'll talk to you some other time, Pekka, and hopefully have you on the podcast again later down the line.
All right, cool. I would love to be.
Yeah, okay. Talk to you later then. Bye.
Bye. I think it's safe to say I freaked him out.
You might have done.
He didn't laugh. Every time you try to be funny, he just didn't see it.
I love how you put he can choose to stay or leave in the notes, and then you say, okay, yeah, we'll see you later. It's nearly like saying, okay, in other words, Graham is a weirdo, you should probably run.
Probably. But like most of them, no matter what podcast I do, just leave anyway. I don't expect them to stay all day. Like one time on another podcast, I interviewed one actor and he didn't even pay attention as he just plowed on talking about everything and everything, even basically covering what we had in the notes anyway, and he didn't look at them.
Yeah, she's like, it's like, after going through the stuff in the notes, I also went to the bathroom.
Yeah. Insert random toilet picture here.
A pretty crappy situation.
That's going to be edited.
Puns are never funny, Graham.
No, they're funny.
Especially not toilet water. Okay, let's move on and stick with The Walking Dead because, Graham, I'm sure you'll love this topic. You, and then I might put some input in. You're going to name some of your favorite episodes from The Walking Dead and why, and what you're looking forward to for The Walking Dead.
I was born for this one. I was born for this one. Okay. One of my favorite episodes of The Walking Dead to this day is the very first one, merely because it was sort of the most comic book accurate and like.
I watched that one. I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, it's just like it's the most comic book accurate, but I love what they added in as well. Because like in the comic book, it wasn't like the conversation that Rick and Shane were having in the car at the very start. It's just like that wasn't in the comic book, but it fitted so well because you were seeing the difficulties that the Grimes family was kind of having, and there was a bit of humor in there as well. It started off with a bit of serious, bit of a serious situation and humor, and it goes straight into it. But I have to say, my favorite moment ever, and I've probably mentioned this when we were talking about E3, was when Rick's on the horse, turns around the corner, and just all those walkers just like.
Oh God.
It's just like, hey, it's McDonald's, get him.
Yeah, but remember pretty much the very last shot when he's stuck inside the tank, and they just keep panning the camera so you can see the hundreds of workers converging on the tank.
Yes, and Sam Witwer zombie. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, which you only found out about a couple of months ago, and I told you.
I only found out that recently. It's like I
told you.
Yeah, like when I watched it the first time, I was just thinking, he looks pretty familiar, but I thought nothing of it. A couple of years down the line, we were just like, yeah, you do know that's Sam Witwer, right? It's like, what?
And it just proves a noob at The Walking Dead knows more than an expert. Okay, I won't call myself a noob, but still.
I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say next because you'd have to censor it. But yeah, I also bring this episode up because Máirín, I know for a fact that you have also watched this one because I kind of forced you to.
I've seen 2 of them.
Yes, because I forced you.
I do have a favorite moment out of those 2, though.
Go on. Oh, Dixon.
Which one you're thinking of, though?
Dixon.
It's raining.
Oh, I thought when you were saying Dixon for president, because like.
Oh yeah, yelling Dixon for president as well. But when they're walking down the street and it starts to rain,
it's like,
and you can just see the sorry.
Censored. Actually, you know what? We should actually make a censored sound of just us.
Sugar.
we should make a censored sound of just us 3 shouting censored.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you that the first episode was a really good one. I may not obviously be nowhere near an expert on The Walking Dead, but really the first episode, of any TV show, really, it's important. The first episode of any TV show will signify what the show is all about.
And it has to grab someone's attention as well.
Exactly. And The Walking Dead definitely does that. It's just like, it's a great storyline. And as Graham has mentioned to me countless times at this stage, like, they're looking at it as if no one knows what a zombie is. It's like they don't even call them zombies. While us, like the audience, know what zombies have been for a while.
Yeah,
it's not a straight ahead storyline. It's really kind of original, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For The Walking Dead, they're like maybe the first franchise that throws out there that maybe they don't know what zombies are. Maybe they don't even call them zombies, and I think that's what was really cool about the introduction of The Walking Dead. And when you introduce a show called The Walking Dead, you have to make the first episode brutal to signify how bloody it is. Just think about all the brutal stuff we have in that first episode. Let me think of some examples. The little girl Walker, maybe. I'm getting some the biggest.
She did scare me.
Yeah, once the show shoots a little girl in the face on the first episode, all you're thinking is, this show has balls.
Yeah. And then let's not forget the bicycle girl zombie as well.
Oh god, yeah. That was... You see, actually, that one played pretty close to me in any way, because even when I was reading the comic books, Bicycle Girl is kind of like what I remembered in the comic books, but like... in the comic books, it's just like Rick doesn't really say anything. I don't think he doesn't say in the TV series. He says, you know, I'm sorry for what happened to you, blah blah blah, bang. But in the comic book, he doesn't even say anything. He just the walkers, or crawler, I guess you could say at this point, was just like looking up at him, and like Rick's just there, like pretty much crying nearly, and just, you know.
I think that's better character development for Rick, you know, the way they did in the TV show.
Yeah, and
just my opinion, though.
Yeah, the character development in the TV show is very similar to how it is in the comic book, except in the comic book, I will actually say I think he's a little bit more insane, because I'm actually going to say spoiler alert here too, because it's like they're still in the prison in the end of season 3, so this might still happen. So yeah, the phone that he hears Laurie's voice in, and all the other characters that died's voice in it.
Amy, Jim, and Queen.
Yeah, that's the one. Like he actually takes the phone with him when they eventually do have to leave the prison, and he uses it to talk to Laurie, and then, you know, it's very interesting to see that such a mentally stable man at the very, very start of the comics could stoop to a level of insanity, because
after all that's happened,
yeah,
you can't really blame him though.
I mean, it's in the comic books that all I'm gonna say is they do some pretty brutal stuff to some human beings, not walkers, human beings, that I can't actually say for fear that it might be in the next season. I don't want to spoil anything, but all I'm gonna say in that regard is that, yeah, if you think Rick's gonna get a little bit more sane, no, just no.
And getting back to brutal parts of the very first episode that signified how brutal it was, you know, when Rick has just woken up in the hospital, and basically I won't say it was completely destroyed, but, you know, it's not the same. It doesn't feel like a hospital. And Rick's just, you know, stumbling down the corridor, and basically he sees this person on the ground, and, you know, I honestly didn't really get a good look. It was a quick shot for me then. Yeah, it was kind of like there was a human character, but it was like her body was like torn in half or something. You know, and you could see organs and blood and all that.
Oh yeah, it's like all the skin and all the flesh and all the organs were stripped from it. It was basically just a hunk of meat on the floor. It wasn't even a walker at all. It was just lifeless, completely lifeless.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to. Yeah, I mean, those three in itself in the first episode, little girl walker, bicycle girl walker, and that, you know, that character he just described. You know, those three moments, and they were in the first half of the episode pretty much. Now, just signify how, you know, the show wanted to prove itself right away. It didn't intend to be, you know, kid-friendly. It was going to be brutal, and for a more mature audience, you know.
Yeah, instead of like the usual sort of situation where it's just like this one guy who's like, I'm a badass, I got a shotgun, and it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like Tallahassee from Zombieland.
Yeah. That works. Oh, then again, Tallahassee was pretty damn awesome. And
Is that the one played by
Emma? Looking very fine.
There you go. Yeah, I still need to watch that movie.
Oh yeah, you can watch it next time you're over here, it's fine.
Oh god.
I'm gonna force you to.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Anyway, getting back on track, aside from the first one, Days Gone By, and the one where T-Dog and Laurie die, obviously, are there any other favorites you want to mention?
Not particularly, because, I don't know, I think each group death in The Walking Dead has been very sort of tragic, even right down to Shane, because, I mean, at the very start of season 1 even, you could see, once again, he was a very mentally stable man, and then he stoops to the level of killing his best friend to get laid. But the thing with Shane is, surprisingly, he was meant to die at the end of the first season of The Walking Dead. Comic book, I'm talking about, like, from the line of comic book in this case. But like it got to the point where it's like you actually still sympathized for the character and what he's gone through, because like, I mean, sure, yeah, you'd be happy after seeing your friend, you know, randomly pop up after being in a coma, presumed dead, and then for him to show up and you're with his, like, I'm not trying to sound funny here, but like, and then he comes back, but you're with his wife, but like after you were trying to, you were making a bond with his son that you barely knew-ish, I guess you could say, or it didn't register too much on an emotional level, and, you know, and you get very close with the wife and you make an attachment, but then when the husband comes back, what do you do in that situation? Like, that can, that can do really serious psychological damage to the man's mind, so, I guess it's just, you can still sympathize for him. That's what makes it really sad. So I'm going to say Shane was a very emotional death for me, or maybe the invasion of the farm in general, because that whole season finale, even right down to the point when you find out that everyone is quote-unquote infected sort of thing, it's like, you're just like, whoa, that's just, my mind blown. I am mind.
Yeah, it makes sense though, you know.
It does.
Because, like, it's great that they said that, because if they didn't, really, I mean, because in recent seasons, you know, at first, in The Walking Dead, you presumed, they have to get bitten to turn into a walker, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Shane's death the first one that proves that you don't have to be bitten to turn into a walker?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that, and, like, obviously Shane turns into a walker, and then you find out, oh, they don't need to be bitten. They don't need to be killed by a walker either. So it gets even more serious then. Yeah. I also...
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No, what I was about to say wasn't important. Go on.
Well, I was going to change topic completely.
Oh, okay. In fact, then in that case, I have two final things to say. How they find out how they're actually they don't have to be bitten in the comic in the TV series is completely different to the comic books, and it is very interesting in the comic books. So I'm not going to say much about it. I'm just going to recommend you give it a read, or if you're lazy, look it up on Wikipedia.
I don't look it up on Wikipedia.
Okay, look it up online. Also, DLC came out recently, or if you bought the disc version of The Walking Dead Telltale game, you probably already have it, because I think it came with it. There's a DLC called Walking Dead 400 Days. I acquired it there maybe 400 days ago. No, 3 or 4 days ago, and it is very, very good, very interesting. It is very short, but like I said, it's only a DLC. It is very, very interesting. Whole new set of survivors, whole new set of stories. And yeah,
I think that's what was, I think that's what was cool about the webisodes as well. Though, you know, they relate to The Walking Dead, but at the same time they tell whole new stories with different characters.
Yeah, it was really short. I loved the webisodes. Really, I mean, I actually think the second set of webisodes is my favorite because it doesn't show people afraid of the walkers so much as the brutality of the humans. And I'm going to stop talking now because I'm going to end up talking for hours. So, Ruari, next topic.
Well, actually, I was going to mention another episode I watched that I thought was really good. The one where Mel Dixon dies. That was a really dramatic episode.
Actually, yeah, it was like, once again, it's not so much his death, it's the impact that it left on the people, I'm going to say person that was close to him. Because, like, when Daryl just, like, he's on the ground, he's crying, and he's so upset and distraught that he doesn't know what to do, that before he even puts him down, he's hitting and punching and pushing him because he doesn't know what to do. It's almost like he's trying to restart his heart or something like that, you know? It's like, it was really sad because you always see Daryl as this sort of, this really, really tough guy. It doesn't, not much phases him or anything like that. And then you see that man, like, reduced to tears.
The acting from Norman Reedus was great in that scene.
Yes. Yes, he was. Yes, he freaking was.
Yeah, but Mel's death was just so brutal, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, it was just like, I'm not gonna beg. No, you're not. I thought that was just amazing. Because, like, once again, it shows the brutality of the humans. It's just like, the people, it's just like, who am I supposed to be afraid of more, you know?
Yeah. especially when you know the governor gets, Walker's. Well, I'm talking about an early episode now. Oh, I forget the name, but I watched it the other day. Is it the Suicide King? Where they have Merle and Dowell in the camp, and then they have Walkers on like leads.
Oh yeah, the fighting arena. That was also in the comic book. That was actually very, very strange in the comic book. Not going to say much more than that. It's kind of fucked up. But yeah, they had those pet walkers, let's say for argument's sake, before in another episode of when the governor was showing Andrea the fights that they had, and like, I don't know, I thought it was very interesting to see like what happened when Merle was pinned against his own brother. It's like, and it ends on cliffhanger as well. It was the mid-season finale, and you were just thinking, okay, what's Merle going to do? Is he going to be selfish? Is he going to, beat the crap out of his brother and walk away just for his own selfish needs, or is he going to help him? And you know what? I'm kind of glad that, blood is thicker than water in this case and saves him. So I loved that part.
Say some stuff you're looking forward to for the Walking Dead franchise before we move on.
Next season. Gimme. I'm interested. Actually, one thing I am interested to see, seeing as the previous Woodbury group is now in the prison, that might not be the best idea, because both of those groups feared each other for quite a while. There might be a couple of feuds or something like that. They might hate each other. There might be a lot of problems, and there's more people to look out for and whatnot. So,
Definitely.
It might get ugly.
And of course, like the end of season 3 showed Carl wasn't too happy about that. We know that relationship between Carl and Rick is going to get even more tested next season.
We should probably move on to the next topic. I'm sorry.
Well, everyone knows it, but I think, but still. And moving on, one topic that I know neither of you can contribute to, but I'm going to bring up anyway. So, yesterday there was a trailer release for the second release of a movie I saw a few years ago. Might have been, 2010, which was How to Train Your Dragon. Really good movie. Well, really good anime movie. Highly recommend it. And that actually has a TV series currently going on. Riders of Berk or something. And like that TV show's been going on for over a year now. And now next year they're going to be releasing the second How to Train Your Dragon movie, How to Train Your Dragon 2, released summer 2014, I believe. And they did release the trailer yesterday. As I'm recording this is Saturday the 13th, so yesterday, Friday 12th, they released that trailer. It was pretty good. It was more like a preview clip than a trailer, if anything, like 1.5 minutes, and it showed basically an older version of the main character, Hiccup, riding his dragon Toothless after the skies, doing a few cool tricks. I thought the coolest things that I took out of it was the helmet that Hiccup was riding, and then the way he also had his own wings. So, like, he just jumps off Toothless and spreads his own wings and can fly as well. That was pretty cool. And obviously they weren't dragon wings, like, they were handcrafted, but I still thought it was pretty cool. But, not really much to say about it, because it was more like a preview clip than a trailer. Basically, it was all just in the sky, then there wasn't really that much to see, but it still was enough to get me excited. I'm looking forward to its release next year. So,
cool stuff. Yeah. Bro needs more dragons and stuff.
Why? Why? Well, it's gonna have plenty of dragons, I'm sure. But yeah, moving on. Also, recently this week, in fact, just yesterday as well, for the 12th and maybe the 11th, they have confirmed for the James Bond franchise that Sam Mendes, who directed the most recent release, Skyfall, from last year, which went down really well. It was one of the best Bond films, isn't it, Graham?
I loved it. It was amazing. I want more. I mean, there were some bits that I kind of felt a little bit quizzical about, but, it kind of worked in this sort of modern day Bond situation, and I'm just kind of glad that he's bringing back the gadgets, to be honest. I mean, I know all he got in Skyfall was like a fingerprint activated pistol and a radio, but still, they were gadgets. I call them gadgets, so they're gadgets.
Yeah.
And they brought back the Aston Martin DB5. Like that registered quite a lot on a personal level. So, I honestly can't wait. Like the Bond franchise is something I hold very dear. I mean, I have the Ultimate Bond collection, massive box. It's currently right in front of me now as we speak. I'm admiring it from a distance. Hey there, what's up? Anyway,
Sam Mendes will be directing Bond 24. Not an official title yet. They'll release that closer to the release date, which will be in 2015. This is just me. They have themed that a lot of big movies have been released in 2015.
It's going to be a great year for films.
Yeah, definitely.
The Avengers 2 coming out.
Star Wars Episode 7!
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a few. There's a good few coming out in 2015. And I can't really remember them all right now except for Avengers.
Me neither. Well, and Star Wars Episode 7. I think there's another Terminator coming out.
There's also...
Not too sure.
I think Ant-Man. I know a few Marvel movies are going to be out and around that year.
Yeah. Well,
so I've been keeping an eye on that.
There's supposed to be a Justice League movie that year, or maybe it's 2016. But you see, I don't know if I'm too comfortable with that because the Avengers movie just came out. It's almost like, okay, guys, we got to up the game. We're bringing in the Justice League. You know, they're not going to have the same build-up as the Avengers did. Now, I am a bigger fan of DC. I really, really am. And I love the Justice League probably more than the Avengers. But I don't know, Avengers is going to be pretty damn hard to top with the DC universe. Seeing as the Green movie was pretty...
Like, Joss Whedon directed the Avengers, and Joss Whedon is a very, very good director. So they need to get somebody to top that, which would be very hard.
Well, yeah, they technically already...
J.J. Abrams, George Lucas, please not direct anymore.
I don't...
They are good directors.
I don't know about J.J. Abrams too much. I mean, I liked the new Mission Impossibles, I liked the new Star Treks, but Lost, why, man?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, every director has a few bad movies, in fairness.
Yeah, but I mean, Lost was something I really loved. It was the first game that I actually got on my Xbox because, well, it came with the Xbox. But still, I mean, I loved it. I'd watched it since season 1, and then that ending was just. We have to censor that, but
we've got to censor a lot of this.
We're gonna have to censor a lot of this, aren't we?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Where were we? Oh, yeah, we were still on James Bond. So, Graham, what are you hoping for with this James Bond movie?
More gadgets. Maybe a bigger reference to perhaps Spectre, which most Bond fans, Ruari and myself inclusive, would know. It's the main criminal organization through the first original Bond movies.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned or even shown those in a while, like.
Yeah, because I loved the idea of Spectre. I mean, I hope they bring back...
like from Russia with Love, they did Spectre really well.
Yeah, I hope they bring back Blofeld. I think I remember I think that was his name. Ernest Stavro Blofeld, something like that. But anyway, I hope to bring him back merely because it's one of the few cats, apart from maybe Ruari's cat, that I actually find adorable.
Okay. On that random basis, I think we can move on unless, Máirín, do you have any hopes for it?
Well, I hadn't seen Skyfall yet, but yeah, I know, I have a lot of movies to catch up on, and Game of Thrones and everything, but yeah, I'm looking forward to another Bond movie. I mean, it's great that they're keeping it going. They're not just going, you know what, stop it here.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, it's...
So again, we have one topic we know Máirín can't participate in because
you're the one I've been waiting for quite a long time.
You've been waiting for all of these for a long time.
Especially this next one because I wanted to discuss it in our first one because I had just come back from seeing it. So Ruari, take it away.
Yeah, so myself and Graham, though I don't know why, I mean, he called me 15 minutes before it showed, and I because I appeared magically. So yeah, we saw a Man of Steel this week, the new Superman movie. So Graham, I'll let you take it away.
Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. Yeah, I personally thought Man of Steel was amazing. There was only 3 things that annoyed me, one of which is a spoiler, so I can't actually say that one, so I'm going to only mention 2. Number 1. The Fortress of Solitude was supposed to be a gigantic crystal palace, not a crashed Kryptonian ship thing. Number 2. The Phantom Zone was supposed to look like kind of like a two-sided mirror, like a window or something like that, not a beam of light that leads up to a ship. But other than that, I mean, a lot of people were annoyed about the lack of red trunks, but to be honest, I don't think it annoyed me all that much. I do think, however, there should have been just a tad more red on the costume. The costume was otherwise perfect, and might I say, Cavill was looking pretty ripped, but
my God,
I had to say it. But
well, I like his voice.
Yeah, he sounds like Superman. That's the thing. He does sound a lot like Superman. So I mean, he looks like him. He sounds like what you'd expect him to sound like. And what I loved was the intro, the opening to the movie. It was like you actually got to see Krypton like at war. And you got to see more of the planet, where in the original Superman movies, I know it was like the 70s, I think. So like their budget wouldn't have been as big as they are now, and they wouldn't have had the special effects that they have now, or the set that they have now. So like Krypton would have been just a set of rooms that looked really white or really black. And you know, at first I was a little bit concerned about Russell Crowe as Jor-El, because see, I'm a big Marlon Brando fan, so I'm used to seeing him as Jor-El, as the main depiction of Jor-El. But I have to say, Russell Crowe was really, really, really good. He really suited the part very, very well. And I just genuinely thought his communication with Zod in the opening, you knew that they knew each other very well, just from how their body language was and how they were talking to each other. And the
acting throughout the movie was superb.
Perfect. It was perfect. Like I have to say, see, I am a very big fan of the Christopher Nolan trilogy of the Batman movies. I have them all, but I am a big fan of those 3 films. However, Christian Bale is not my favorite Batman. Don't judge. He is not my favorite Batman. Kevin Conroy.
Is Mark Hamill?
He's the Joker. Kevin Conroy was. Kevin Conroy is my favorite.
Brain freeze.
I do prefer the animated depictions of the characters. But anyway, I genuinely think that this has potential to put Nolan's trilogy underground. I mean, now that's a lot coming from me. That's pretty big of me to come out with, because I love those movies. I love that trilogy as if it were my own child. In fact, Ruari's Separatist Destroyers channel kind of emphasizes that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I genuinely think this. These next couple of movies for Superman have potential to beat the snot out of the Batman trilogy, because I don't know, it showed the flashbacks, but it didn't. It showed you Clark Kent's past in flashbacks instead of just seeing what you've already seen from the original movies. You've seen him grow up in the movies, and most people these days who are Superman fans have probably seen Smallville, and they know his origin story at this stage. They know how he comes across Jonathan and Martha Kent. So they might as well just show the important bits in flashbacks and then show the important bits in the present all the way through, rather than just getting this really, really, hard to chew on intro that you've probably already seen before in the original Superman movies. I genuinely think the backstory was done very, very well, especially this one particular scene where Clark is getting bullied. And, you can see in his eyes he wants to hit this kid, but he knows he can't because he knows that he'd kill him, and I'm rambling, so yeah, Ruari, take it away.
Yeah, I know, thing that's funny about it.
Sorry, I'd just like to point in that Hans Zimmer's done music for this again, and I'm a huge fan of his, so that's another reason I'd go see that movie. I'd sit there and just listen to the music.
I could just link you that to YouTube.
But Yeah, as for my opinions on Man of Steel, yeah, I thought it was a great movie. Definitely very enjoyable. That wasn't. I can't really think of anything right off the top of my head what I didn't like, but because I'm in the community a lot, the geek community, I've seen a lot of people hate on Man of Steel for two reasons. One, too much CGI near the end, and two, too much action. I mean, really? Are those actually real reasons?
Movie. What did they expect? Daisies and My Little Pony?
Yeah,
Little Pony! Laser vision. All that.
But yeah, I think those are terrible. Just those reasons don't make sense. I mean, you can never have enough action in a movie. Well, I mean, of course you do need your dialogue scenes, but I mean, most films do have a lot of good dialogue scenes. I mean, it's just not all action. And I thought, in general, just thought it was a perfect mix in Man of Steel of action scenes and dialogue scenes and all that sort. Yeah, that's for too much CGI. I don't really understand where that's coming from either, to be honest. I thought it was absolutely fine. I didn't see any moments where it looked too CGI.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit there comfortably in 3D and watch it fine. I mean, it was actually really, really good in 3D, and I usually don't like movies in 3D personally, but,
You always tell me when we go to the cinema we're watching it in 3D.
No, I don't...
Most films are just brought out in 3D now anyway.
Yeah, but like the cinema times in Dundrum are usually... suit our schedule a lot easier for the 3D times than the 2D times.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, and plus I have a pretty much life supply of 3D glasses that I never get. So I might as well just take them out so then we don't have to pay for 3D glasses. But,
I would too if I stopped popping the lens out of them to make fun of hipsters, but...
But yeah, anyway.
You're a hipster-nerd. You can't say much.
Getting back to Man of Steel... I don't, if this will be awkward if you don't, but do either of you know the Outsiders book, and have either of you seen the film?
The what book?
The
Sounds familiar,
Outsiders.
but I don't think I've read it.
Thanks for cutting across while Rui was trying to talk.
The Outsiders.
No, I don't think so.
Weird, I thought you'd have been told about in school, or learn it. Okay, never mind, but yeah. I thought the cast, anyway, was really good. Henry Cavill as, Superman, obviously, great choice. Definitely, as Graham said, I thought it really suited the role. What's the name of the actress who played the main female character again? Forget her name.
I think.
Amy Adams, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good in it as well.
They had good chemistry, I think. I genuinely think Cavill and Adams had very, very good chemistry. It was like, they worked very well together, personally.
Yeah. But yeah, and General Zod, his actor is really brilliant.
Michael Shannon, yes, I love Michael Shannon. Because you see, I'm a big fan of this TV show called Boardwalk Empire. Awesome, awesome show. Go watch it now, I command thee. It is, Michael Shannon is an amazing actor, in my opinion. I thought he was very, very good as Zod in Man of Steel. At first, I didn't think that he looked like Zod, but he acted like him perfectly. Like, you knew once you looked at him, he is evil. He is Zod. Bow before Zod.
It's actually funny, because when Zod first appeared on screen in Man of Steel, I swear I thought, it's not Sam Witwer, but with a bigger head. Seriously. Seriously, that's also what I was thinking, but yeah, I knew it obviously wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, I get the minute he came in, this is in the intro, so this isn't a spoiler, when he comes in and just, shoots that woman in the freaking face, all I was thinking was when he walks in with his posse, all I was thinking was, damn! Just...
yeah. But yeah, I think definitely it's really good. What would you rate it out of 10, Graham?
I'd definitely give it a solid 9.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I won't say it's a perfect film by any means, but definitely very close. I'd have to agree with 9, maybe 8.5, but definitely 9. No hype, though. The acting was just amazing, though, in itself.
This were amazing. I mean, and Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White, that in itself is just a go see this movie sign.
And I thought, the second in command to General Zod, the female of those.
Feora, yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was really cool. I thought she was a total badass in her own right. She wasn't one of those characters who said much, but you could tell she was a badass anyway, and they made her so. Yeah,
like in the original, I think it was Superman 2, when she appeared, in the originals, she didn't really talk that much either, but she wasn't specifically amazing. Like, Zod sort of stole the show there with the villains for that movie. But Feora in Man of Steel compared to Feora in Superman 2, Man of Steel version just wins.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think that's all we have to say on that. So you both ready to wrap up?
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
So make sure to check out our YouTube channels. The podcast is www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/separatist-destroyers. Mine's is www.youtube.com/user/Lizzie11.
That's IY11. Because I'm awkward.
Yeah, very awkward.
Yeah.
And also check out Graham on Everything Geek Podcast. Just look him up in the podcast host album. And also check out Pekka's Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Pekka Wierling. Oh, I forgot what his surname was. Yeah, so I'll do that again. And I'll let mine to turn it out. So www.facebook.com/Pekka Wierling. There you go. Geeks out.
Geek out.
Geeks out.